Hi guys, it's Katie. I'm back with another edition of my vlog, and today I actually finally want to talk a little bit about my parenting philosophy and how it dovetails with my unschooling philosophy and my this general life philosophy. But first, before I get to that, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been watching my videos, sharing my videos with friends, responding to me in the comments or via private message, especially the response on my last video, the one where I talked a little bit about what it's like here in the stroke dimension, seems to have resonated with a lot of people. I got a lot of positive feedback on that one and a lot of private messages from people thanking me for being so honest and forthcoming about our family's experience. And thank you for watching and sharing and spreading my message, because that's why I'm doing this, right? I'm doing this as an outlet for myself, but I'm also doing it because I want to help other people to be able to learn some lessons from my life experience and what I have to say, because, you know, as you guys know, I'm a lifelong learner, and my goal is to constantly be improving myself as a person so that I can be the best possible version of myself. And that's really my parenting philosophy and unschooling philosophy also, right? So thank you for the feedback, and you know, please continue. Let me know if you like what I'm doing, if you find it valuable, if you have a friend who you think would enjoy it, send them a link, whatever. I really appreciate it, because that's how I'm gonna keep getting my message out there further, right? So my parenting philosophy, first I wanna go way back in time, about 20 years ago, to before we ever had kids, and tell you guys a story about camel sex, because it's the basis of my parenting philosophy. So, you know, 20 years ago, when Sean and I first started dating, we spent an afternoon at the Oakland Zoo. And we're walking through the African animal area, and we hear this horrendous noise coming from around the corner of a fence where we can't see the animal that's making the noise. But I mean, it's just these sort of awful, bellowing, pain, distress sounds. And we come around the corner of the camel enclosure, and the sound is being made by a female camel who is pinned up against the fence by a male camel who is humping her, for lack of a better term. And of course, being, you know, young 20-somethings that we are, we see two camels having sex and we're like, okay, well, let's stay and watch and see what happens. And, you know, it took the male camel a couple minutes to finish up, and he gave a sort of like satisfied grunt when he was done and got off of her. You know, the whole time she's making this sort of god-awful bellowing sound. She's clearly not having that much fun. But, you know, so we stand there for like 2 minutes, and as we're standing there, probably 50 or so families with small children come walking by. And of course, every single kid says, "Mommy, what are those camels doing?" And I watch in horror as the vast majority of these parents make something up or rush their kids through, or say, "Oh, don't pay any attention to that," or say they're just playing, or whatever weird lie that they say. One mom out of every single mom I watched just said, "Oh, they're just making baby camels." And the kids said, "Oh, okay." And then they just went on with their lives. And in that moment, I just said, man, what is this thing of people trying to keep stuff from kids? People trying to keep knowledge that they're gonna need from them. It makes no sense. And right then I just decided, you know, I was just gonna be totally honest and open with my future kids about everything, in an age-appropriate way, of course, but I was never gonna shy away from an awkward conversation or a question that made me feel uncomfortable. Because what's the point in that? If you keep your kids ignorant, if you just infantilize them, you don't help them to grow. And the whole point of raising kids is not to hang out with kids. It's to help them to grow into the best version of themselves that they can be, to turn out a well-rounded adult who is, you know, emotionally aware of themselves and able to take care of themselves and the other people around them, able to meet their responsibilities, all of these sorts of things. But contemporary American parenting seems way more like just like keep them protected and keep them away from the world, and you know, like don't challenge them to do things. And it It made no sense to me then. It makes no sense to me now. It's not a good strategy for parenting as far as I'm concerned. So that kind of formed the basis of everything. And that's kind of who I am as a person also. If you guys know me, you know that I am a dead honest person, and I don't even know how to tell a lie. And it's gotten me in trouble in my life where I've given people feedback that they did not want to hear. But sometimes you need a friend who's just brutally honest with you about stuff. So that's me. So the parenting philosophy, kind of hand in hand with the unschooling philosophy, I like to use two phrases together. The sort of theme of our unschool, with apologies to Varg, who we obviously took it from, is let's find out, right? I don't know something, let's find out. Let's figure out how to research it. Let's figure out how to do it. Let's find out. Hand in hand with let's find out is the parenting philosophy of do for self, which is obviously not grammatically correct, but it doesn't matter because our point is, again, we want to raise our kids to be able to do things for themselves. We also want to raise them so that they know when it's time to ask someone else for help, right? But like I said, so many kids these days have everything done for them by someone. And then it's like they make it to adulthood and you read all these stories about young adults moving out of the house, and it's like they don't know how to cook. They don't know how to do their laundry. They don't know how to, balance a checkbook. They don't know how to do any of that stuff that you kind of need to know to function in life. So very early on, I decided we're going to make the kids do stuff, help around the house, have chores, have, the stuff that they have to do to help. And we're going to expect a level from them that's actually, it's age appropriate, but it's actually a little bit higher than age appropriate, if that makes sense. And I kind of had this lesson reinforced here in the stroke dimension, learning how Sean's brain is recovering. The idea is if you put something that someone can do right in front of them, they can do it. If you put something that someone can't do right in front of them, they have to learn how to do it. And the first step to learning how to do something is not knowing how to do it, right? The first step to getting good at something is sucking at something, right? And I think when we look at challenges as adults, we want to be able to jump right in and just be good at something immediately, which is ridiculous and totally inappropriate as an expectation, right? But with kids, we look at them as a sort of blank slate or whatever, and we say, oh, well, they don't know that yet. They have to learn it. And so my goal is to put challenges in front of them that are just hard enough that they have to kind of step up to meet that challenge, instead of sort of keeping them back here at, oh yeah, I know how to do that, right? One of the phrases that I use a lot with the kids, if they get frustrated about something, if they say, I don't know how to do that, I will come back to them with, well, you don't know how to do that yet. And we need to figure out how to do that and how to get from point A to point B. So, that's kind of the real nugget of it right there. There's not really a lot else to say, but of course I can expand on this forever. But it's all interconnected, right? So we have the kids help out in the house and in our business every day. They have lots of stuff that they help with. The kids do the dishes, they do the laundry, they do most of the cooking. They do work in the shop, they do cleaning around the house, they do yard work, they help wash the cars, all of that stuff. Their ages are 14, 11, and 9, just so you guys know. But we've had them working alongside us on everything, not the whole time, because obviously when they're newborns, they're really truly helpless. But once your kid gets to about age 2, it's actually totally appropriate for them to be helping out alongside with you. And of course, as a parent, it's much slower if you have to stop and show the kid what you're doing and have them help you with it. And it's way easier to just take care of it yourself and handle it quickly. But of course, if you do that, you're not doing your kid or yourself any favors because you're just extending the amount of time that they don't know how to do for self, right? Kids are capable of so much more than people like to give them credit for. And I'm not like a hard ass or like, making things like super difficult for my kids, but I'm not just going to do something for them if they can do it themselves. I'm going to give them the resources they need. I'm going to give them the tools they need. I'm going to give them access information, all of that stuff, but I want them to be able to do stuff for themselves. And so everything we do it slowly. Everything we do, it takes longer than it would if I just did it or if I hired somebody else to just do it, right? But again, that's sort of the core of the both life and unschool philosophy is everything is a lesson. Every situation we get ourselves into, we can learn something from it. We can constantly grow as people. Yes, there's very practical things you need to learn when you're younger. And of course, we're teaching them those things. But there's all of these sort of amorphous life lessons that you just kind of learn as you go. But if you're paying attention, you can learn them quicker and you can benefit from learning them quicker. And you can take that tool and put it in your personal toolbox and, like I said before, grow to be the best possible version of yourself that you can be. And that's really what it's all about. It's super simple, but you have to really be dedicated to it. You have to be really patient. You have to be really understanding. It really helps if you understand child development and child psychology and what appropriate stages they go through as they're growing, because that's going to inform what you can expect when. Because we homeschool, unschool, we have a very flexible schedule. And so that allows us to take the time when we need to, when someone's having a conflict or someone's having a hard time with something or something else just comes out of the blue and lands in our lap and suddenly we have to deal with that. You know, that's what we do, but we do it together. We do it slowly. I explain everything that I'm doing so that the kids understand, why am I doing it this way? What is this technique about? What is the reasoning behind this? And I also tell them, you know, this is how you're doing it right now, but what we're doing is preparation for when you are an adult and how are you going to handle this situation or this task or this issue? And are you going to be able as an adult to, you know, smoothly function without having a lot of issues because you were never made to cook anything as a kid or never had to do the laundry or, you know, never learned how to have control of your own emotions or whatever, right? So that's it. It's really, really simple. But it's also really hard for a lot of people because you just have to be very dedicated to it and do it every single day. And yeah, like I said last week, I definitely have my frustrating days where I feel like the kids aren't listening to me and stuff is not flowing well. And that's okay. Everyone has days like that, whether they're a kid or an adult, right? And it's just about learning how to deal with those situations. One of the other things I say to the kids a lot is, you know, there's a lot of times when we're not in control of the situation that we're in or what's happening around us. Boy, has that been a big one here in the stroke dimension. But what we are in control of is our own reaction to what's happening and the way we treat other people inside of whatever's happening, right? So I'm going to wrap this up because I don't want to go on forever, but that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Let's find out and do for self. When the kids were littler, I phrased it as parents off the play structure, right? When you go to the park and you see a parent like right behind their kid on the play structure, it's really not appropriate. The play structure is for kids. They can manage it. They're probably not going to climb up higher than they can get back down by themselves. I mean, now there are some total daredevils. I've seen kids climb up the wrong part of the play structure equipment and fall off and seriously injure themselves before. But for the most part, most kids are cautious enough and know their limits and know what they can do and how far they can stretch themselves before it's not appropriate, right? And if you listen to their cues, if you watch them, if you challenge them appropriately, they just grow into these wonderful young people who then hopefully will be wonderful young adults and older adults and all the way through their lives. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I will be back in a couple days with another vlog, so I hope you tune in then. And reminder, if you like what I'm doing, please share it with someone or otherwise let me know. You can always reply to me down there in the comments or send me a message somewhere or shoot me an email, katie@goblinco.com. I will check you guys out later. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.